You're listening to IsReal News, 3 daily briefings on the Middle East and on global developments.
From IsReal News, this is the morning briefing for Wednesday, May 6th. The White House believes the United States and Iran may be moving closer to a framework deal to end the war. American sources say the sides are now at their closest point to an agreement since the fighting began. The proposed one-page memorandum would open a 30-day negotiating period on Iran's nuclear program, sanctions relief, and safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz. Under the emerging framework, Iran would commit to freezing uranium enrichment. The United States would agree to gradually lift sanctions and release frozen Iranian funds. Both sides would begin removing restrictions on passage through the Strait of Hormuz. But nothing is final. Washington is waiting for Iran's response on key points in the next 48 hours, and U.S. officials say many of the terms depend on a final agreement. That leaves open the possibility that the war could resume if talks collapse. Iranian media is portraying President Trump's decision to cancel the Hormuz operation as a retreat. Iranian outlets say Trump backed down because of what they call Iran's firm warnings. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the full agreement does not need to be written in one day, but says any diplomatic path must be clear about what Iran is prepared to negotiate and what concessions it is ready to make. At the same time, Rubio questions whether Iran's leadership will ultimately make a deal. In Lebanon, fighting continues. The IDF says it has launched a wave of strikes on Hezbollah infrastructure in several areas of southern Lebanon. Lebanon's health ministry reports 4 people killed and 5 wounded in an Israeli strike earlier today in the village of Zlaya in the Bekaa Valley. Hezbollah has launched rockets, explosive drones, and mortar fire toward Israeli forces operating in southern Lebanon. 2 IDF soldiers were wounded, one moderately and one lightly, after explosive drones fell near troops. Their families have been notified. Sirens also sounded in Shtula in the western Galilee, the first alert there in a week. The IDF says an interceptor was launched toward a suspicious aerial target near the area where Israeli forces are operating in southern Lebanon. The IDF's Arabic-language spokesman issued an urgent evacuation warning for residents of 12 villages in southern Lebanon, telling them to leave their homes and move at least 1,000 meters away. In Iran, concern is growing for imprisoned Nobel Peace Prize laureate Narges Mohammadi. Her lawyer says Mohammadi is in immediate, life-threatening condition after a sharp deterioration in her health. Her family says she has been transferred to a hospital in Zanjan, but is not receiving the full medical care she needs. They are demanding she be moved urgently to a hospital in Tehran. In Asia, China is sharply criticizing a visit by Israeli lawmakers to Taiwan. Knesset members Boaz Toporowski and Mickey Levy met with Taiwanese President Lai Ching-te, discussing artificial intelligence, social resilience, and other issues. The Chinese embassy in Israel called the visit shameful and warned that red lines on Taiwan cannot be crossed without paying a price. In London, the Metropolitan Police is launching a dedicated 100-officer team to protect Jewish communities after a rise in violent hate crimes and terror-linked attacks. The new community protection team follows recent attacks, including a double stabbing in Golders Green, arson attacks on Jewish sites, and the burning of 4 Hezbollah ambulances in North London. Police say about 50 people have been arrested in connection with antisemitic hate crimes in recent weeks. And in the United States, the Anti-Defamation League says antisemitic assaults reached a record high in 2025, even as the total number of antisemitic incidents declined. The ADL says violent incidents rose to 203 during the year, including the murders of 3 Jews. Overall incidents fell from the previous year's record high, but remained the 3rd highest total since the organization began tracking the data. Markets are also reacting to signs of a possible end to the Iran war. Dow futures surged more than 500 points, while oil prices fell on reports that the U.S. and Iran may be nearing an agreement. Those are the latest headlines from IsReal News.
Follow IsReal News for 3 daily briefings. Fast, factual, and to the point.